Machiavelli did not write to make you feel good. He wrote to make you see. His world 500 years ago was a landscape of raw power, shifting alliances, brutal truths. He peeled back the layers of wishful thinking leaders wrapped themselves in. He showed them the world as it was, not as they hoped it would be. This is the heart of his realism, a tool for survival and success. Today, we face our own battles, not fought with swords in the Italian city-states, in boardrooms. The quotes we will explore are not dusty relics. They are living principles that pulse with relevance. We will start with his foundational observation. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. This single line forces us to confront the uncomfortable trade-offs between respect and popularity. Machiavelli's most famous line hits you like a punch. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. It feels cold. It feels brutal. But it is fundamentally pragmatic. Love is a fragile bond. Fear is rooted in self-preservation. A feared leader commands a different loyalty, not affection, consequences. Renaissance Italy. Warring states. A prince's survival depended on obedience. Betrayal meant death, not a license for tyranny, a lesson in the nature of respect. Machiavelli gives us another powerful metaphor for survival and success. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. This is Machiavelli's masterclass in strategic flexibility, a lesson in being both strong and clever. These ideas challenge our modern desire to be universally liked and consistently one-dimensional. Section 3. The unchanging nature of man. Machiavelli was a student of humanity, and his conclusions were blunt. Men are so simple and so subject to present necessities that he who seeks to deceive will always find someone who will allow himself to be deceived. This is not an instruction to become a deceiver. It is a crucial warning about human nature. People are primarily driven by their immediate needs, desires, and fears. They are focused on what is right in front of them. This focus makes them vulnerable to anyone who promises a quick and easy solution to their problems. Section 4. The danger of good intentions. How we live is so different from how we ought to live. He who studies what ought to be done rather than what is done will learn the way to his downfall rather than to his preservation. This is one of Machiavelli's most profound and practical insights. He draws a sharp line between the world of ideals and the world of reality. Many people, especially new leaders, operate with noble principles. Total transparency, absolute fairness, universal kindness. These are good intentions. But Machiavelli warns that if you act on these ideals without regard for how the world actually works, you will fail. You will be destroyed by those who do not play by your admirable rules. The world is not a philosophy classroom. It is an arena. And in the arena, you must respond to what your opponents are actually doing, not what you wish they would do. Section 1. Judging by the eye, not the hand. Machiavelli observed a fundamental truth about human perception. He wrote, "Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand. People form opinions based on what they see, not on what they can touch or verify. Your appearance, your reputation, the image you project, often more powerful than the substance of your character. A person can have incredible skills, but if they appear incompetent, they will be treated as incompetent. Another person can be deeply flawed, but if they project confidence and success, the world will often take them at their word." In the world of Renaissance princes, this was political survival. A prince had to appear powerful, generous, and decisive. His subjects and rivals were always watching. Any visible sign of weakness could invite rebellion. The perception of strength was, in itself, a form of strength. Section 2. The art of the facade. Building on the power of perception, Machiavelli gives leaders some uncomfortable advice. He suggests a prince should appear to be merciful, faithful, humane, religious, upright. And to be so, but with a mind so framed that should you require not to be so, you may be able and know how to change to the contrary. This is not a command to be a hypocrite. It is a strategic lesson in the separation of public persona from private flexibility. A leader must embody and project the virtues that society values. This builds trust, loyalty, and strong public image. It is the foundation of legitimate authority. However, Machiavelli the realist knew that the world is not always a good and just place. A leader will inevitably face situations where being merciful would be foolish, or where being completely transparent would be dangerous. Section 3. Building your information shield. Machiavelli understood that a leader's greatest vulnerability was bad information. One of the main sources of bad information is flattery. He wrote, "There is no other way to guard yourself against flattery than by making men understand that telling you the truth will not offend you." This is profoundly important advice for anyone in a position of power. People naturally tell superiors what they think they want to hear. They offer praise, they agree with ideas, and they hide bad news. They do this out of self-preservation and a desire to win favor. This creates a dangerous bubble around the leader. Surrounded by praise, the leader's ego inflates. They start to believe their own hype. They lose touch with reality. They are not told about problems until they become crises. Machiavelli saw this as a fatal flaw. A prince who could not get honest feedback was flying blind. His greatest threat was not rival armies, but the sycophants in his own court. Section 4. The strategy of not being hated. While Machiavelli famously argued that being feared is better than being loved, he added a crucial condition. He warned that a leader must, above all, avoid being hated. He stated, "A prince ought to inspire fear in such a way that, if he does not win love, he avoids hatred." This is a critical distinction. Fear is based on respect for power and consequence. It is impersonal. Hatred, on the other hand, is personal. It is born from injustice, cruelty, arrogance. It is an emotion that festers and inspires conspiracies, rebellions, a desire for revenge. A feared leader is obeyed. A hated leader is a target. Machiavelli was very specific about how a ruler avoids hatred. He identified two primary causes: taking a man's property and taking his women. In his context, this meant not arbitrarily seizing wealth or interfering with family honor. The underlying principle is about respecting fundamental boundaries. People will tolerate a strong, demanding leader. They will not tolerate a predator. Section 5. Exercise auditing your reputation. Now it is time to put these ideas into action with a simple exercise in self-awareness. Machiavelli's principles are only useful if they are applied. This audit is about seeing yourself as others see you, judging yourself by the eye. It requires brutal honesty. Take a piece of paper or open a new document. Create 3 columns. The first column is My Intended Image. Here, write down 5 adjectives you want people to associate with you. Competent, fair, innovative, decisive, compassionate. In the second column, write My Perceived Image. This is the hard part. You need to find out how people actually see you. You must gather real data. In the third column, write the gap. Compare your intended image with the perceived image. Where is there a disconnect? Section 1. Fortune is a raging river. Machiavelli saw the world as constant change and unpredictable chaos. He gave this chaos a name: Fortune. I compare her to one of those raging rivers, when in flood overflows the plains, sweeping away trees and buildings, bearing away the soil from place to place. Fortune is not a gentle goddess of luck. It is a destructive, unstoppable force of nature. Market crash you didn't see coming. The sudden illness that changes your life. The global pandemic that shuts down the world. Fortune is everything outside your control. The raging river that threatens to wash away everything you have built. Faced with such force, it's easy to feel helpless. Many people simply give up. They see themselves as victims, tossed about by currents. But Machiavelli rejected passivity. When the river is calm, men can take action. Section 2. The wisdom of impetuosity. After explaining how to prepare for fortune's floods, Machiavelli offers a radical strategy for when chaos actually hits. He wrote, "Fortune is a woman, and if you wish to keep her under it is necessary to beat and ill-use her." The language is brutal, a product of his time. But the underlying message is about agency, not violence. He concludes, "She allows herself to be mastered by the adventurous rather than by those who go to work more coldly." When crisis strikes, caution and careful deliberation can be your enemy. Bold, decisive action, impetuosity, is often the better path. Fortune favors the bold. Think about it. When the river is already flooding its banks, it's too late to form a committee to design a dam. It's time to grab sandbags. Time to act. When your company is on the brink of failure, long analysis will burn through your remaining cash. When facing adversity or dealing with an opponent, Machiavelli was a fierce critic of indecision. He warned that conflicts must be resolved completely. He wrote that men must be either pampered or crushed. They can get revenge for small injuries, but not for fatal ones. This sounds ruthless, but it is a lesson in strategic clarity. A half measure, a small injury, creates an enemy without removing their ability to strike back. You create resentment, you create desire for revenge, you leave them with strength to act on it. You have all the downsides of making an enemy, and none of the upsides of victory. This was a critical observation from his study of warfare and politics. A prince who defeated a rival city but only imposed minor tax would create a population that was angry and strong enough to rebel. A decisive action creates a stable outcome. Ultimately, Machiavelli's advice on managing adversity is about self-reliance. He believed the most dependable defense was not money, allies, or walls, but your own character and ability. He wrote, "Those defenses are good, certain and durable that depend on you, yourself, and your own virtue." Virtue for Machiavelli was not just about being good. It was about virtù, skill, excellence, courage, and strength of character. An external fortress can be breached. Allies can betray you. Money can be lost. But the fortress you build inside yourself, your resilience, your skills, your reputation for competence, is a defense that can never be taken from you. This was the ultimate lesson for a prince. He could inherit a kingdom, but without virtù, he would lose it. His power was only as durable as his own capabilities. We did not come here to learn how to be tyrants. We came here to learn how to see. Machiavelli's genius was not his wickedness, but his clarity. He gave us a language for the world as it is, not as we wish it were. He showed us that respect is more durable than love. He taught us we must be both strong like the lion and clever like the fox. He reminded us that people are driven by immediate needs. Most importantly, he drew a hard, bright line between the idealism of what ought to be and the realism of what is. To ignore this line is to choose failure. This is the foundation he laid. From this foundation, we learn to see self-awareness as a strategic tool. Perception is reality. People judge by the eye, not the hand. Therefore, managing your reputation is not vanity. It is necessity. You must be the conscious curator of the image you project. We learn to separate our public persona from our private flexibility, to appear virtuous while retaining mental freedom to make hard, pragmatic choices when survival demands it. And we learn to build an information shield, to actively fight against the flattery that isolates leaders in delusion. The goal is to see ourselves without the distorting filters of ego and wishful thinking. Finally, we faced the chaotic nature of fortune. We saw it not as random luck, but as a raging river that can be prepared for. In times of calm, we must build our dikes and dams. Understanding Machiavelli is one thing, applying his wisdom is another. The purpose of this journey was to give you practical tools for a more effective life, grounded in self-awareness and realism. Your path forward begins with a commitment to action. Here are 4 concrete takeaways you can implement today. First, conduct a reputation audit this week. Follow the exercise. Write down your intended image. Gather honest feedback on your perceived image. Identify the gap. Second, build your information shield. Identify one person who tells you hard truths. Thank them. Ask for critical feedback. Third, identify one potential flood in your life. A changing industry, neglected relationship, bad health habit. This week, take concrete action to build a dike. Fourth, practice decisive action in small things. Give yourself a 1-minute time limit for minor decisions. Train your impetuosity muscle. Machiavelli's world was brutal, but his ultimate prize was freedom. Freedom from seeing things clearly, from understanding the game, from knowing yourself completely. He left us with a final guiding principle. The best fortress is to be found in the love of the people. For a modern ethical leader, this is our reinterpretation. Not to manipulate, but to understand. Not to crush, but to lead effectively and fairly. By using realism to understand and lead fairly, you build the only fortress that truly matters. You earn the respect and loyalty of those around you. That is the ultimate defense. That is the ultimate power.